Welcome to Books in Sum, your go-to for bite-sized book summaries.
Partnering by Jean Oelwang. The most important details in this book are the 6 principles of finding, building, and developing deep connections based on what Jean Oelwang has learned in over 60 interviews with business and life partners. Jean's journey to deep connections began in 2006 when she and her friend Nicola Elliott were invited to meet Nelson Mandela and his wife, Graca Machel, to discuss potential candidates for the Elders, an organization founded by Mandela and Machel in partnership with Richard and the musician Peter Gabriel. When they arrived in Houghton, a leafy suburb of Johannesburg, Nicola, Richard, and Jean were greeted by Graca, whose radiance and generosity made her seem immediately like a friend. Jean's experience with Graca changed her perspective on relationships and led to her founding Virgin Unite, the charitable arm of the Virgin Group. Graca and Nelson Mandela shared a deep connection that lifted each of them up to better achieve their life purposes. Jean realized that the deep connections that great leaders have with one another enables them to create something larger than themselves. This discovery set the author on a 15-year exploration of what it takes to build deep connections and collaborative initiatives in order to positively impact the world. The first degree of connection is elevating your life purpose by cultivating meaningful partnerships. Professor Frank Sherwood Rowland, a chemistry professor at the University of California, Irvine, and Mario Molina, a student from Mexico City, joined Sherry's postdoctoral program to focus on what happens to chlorofluorocarbons, also known as CFCs, in the environment. Sherry and Mario's research led to an unimaginable discovery. CFCs were found in vast technologies from refrigerators and pesticides to deodorant and hairspray. When Sherry and Mario published their discoveries in Nature in 1974, they were attacked by companies which benefited from the CFC industry. Despite this, they continued their work, motivated by a shared purpose to save humanity. 10 years later, another team of scientists found a hole in the ozone layer above the Antarctic, and other studies confirmed that the ozone layer was disappearing at an alarming rate. In 1987, the Montreal Protocol was established, setting in motion a plan to ban CFCs and other chemicals harmful to the ozone layer. The second degree of connection is going all in with relationships to create something bigger than ourselves, our partners, and even our organizations. This something bigger isn't about money or power, but about creating a meaningful life and a positive impact on the world through your unique skills. The foundation of any successful relationship is knowing that you have each other's back, no matter what happens. One of Jean's first interviews for her book was with the former United States President Jimmy Carter. They talked about the former president's more than 7 decades of partnership with his wife, the former First Lady Rosalind Carter. The couple grew up as neighbors in Plains, Georgia, and their romance ignited. 4 children, 12 grandchildren, and 14 great-grandchildren later, the couple shared the longest-lasting marriage of a U.S. president. The couple was candid about the conflicts that arise during a marriage, such as after Carter lost the election for his second term. They attributed their successes to giving each other space and developing mutual interests such as skiing, fly fishing, and bird watching. They also discussed their differences before going to sleep at night. In 2007, 3 young founders of Airb, Brian Chesky, Nate Blecharczyk, and Joe Jebbia, created a moral ecosystem grounded in 6 essential virtues. These virtues are enduring trust, unshakable mutual respect, united belief, shared humility, nurturing generosity, and compassionate empathy. Airbn's business model revolved around connection and trust, and when the COVID-19 pandemic hit and halted travel, the co-founders made a decision to offer customers a full refund, prioritizing health and safety over their traditional mode of business. This decision left hosts feeling blindsided and could have led to the end of the company. To address the issue, Joe, Brian, and Nate showed humility and compassion. Richard Reed, Adam Ballon, and John Wright, along with their partners, started Innocent Drinks in the late 90s. The company's success can be attributed to the rituals, practices, and traditions they implemented, such as quarterly off-site meetings, team-building weekends and destinations from Salzburg to Ibiza, and the Big Knit, an annual tradition in which people across the UK mail many knitted hats to the company. These rituals, traditions, or daily practices help cultivate magnetic moments, which are experiences that give you a feeling of togetherness and increase the depth and meaning in relationships. These moments can create space for unlimited joy and honest communication while building a wider community of support. 7.5 million hats later, the 3 founders of Solar Impulse have raised over £2.5 million for the charity and established a tradition which has built a special bond amongst their entire consumer community. They have a weekly Monday afternoon meeting which allows them to connect, and makes them better at anticipating each other's needs. In 2016, André Borschberg and Bertrand Piccard flew the first solar-powered flight around the planet. But it was years of developing the deep connection at the foundation of their friendship which they credit for the success of their company. One of the early tensions to arise between the duo was when the media hailed Bertrand as the founder of the company without mentioning André. Bertrand's wife Michelle Piccard encouraged him to tackle the issue before it left a scar on their friendship. Through talking together in private, they realized that Bertrand's past public speaking experience had made him the de facto spokesperson for their endeavor, while André's natural talent made him the natural support system. Bertrand and André decided to train each other to become better speakers and pilots. This was a learning experience for each of them, and the sixth degree of connection is collective connections. Collective connections are a framework of design principles to enable successful collaborations. The deep connections at the core of a leadership team can have a rippling effect across an entire organization. Collaborative design principles such as relational scaffolding and deep connections are essential for creating collective connections of diverse people. Natura, founded by Luis Sebra, Pedro Passos, and Guilherme Leal, has relied on relational scaffolding to grow its $11 billion global company since 1969. The company has partnered with over 30 indigenous Amazonian communities to supply ingredients such as yucuba berries and Brazil nuts, and prioritizes transparency and openly shared information. It remains adaptive and flexible, enabling periods for change within the structure of the organization. Deep connections lay the groundwork for creating something larger than yourself and impacting the world through cultivating a shared purpose and a moral ecosystem of virtues. By celebrating friction and creating space for magnetic moments, you can turn conflict on its head and foster even greater connection while exploring new opportunities for growth.
We hope you found this summary helpful in your listening journey. If you're interested in diving deeper into the topic or getting your hands on the whole book, be sure to check the description below where we've included links to the book and other related products that may be useful to you. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay updated on our latest book summaries, and feel free to leave a comment with any suggestions or requests for books you'd like us to cover. Thanks again for tuning in and happy listening.